Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Rokket deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one because this deck actually does need an update because of Guard Dragon or Guard Pain getting banned, and us getting the new Striker Dragon, which is an awesome new Link monster that we have that kind of replaces the strategy that the deck had with making Guard Dragons, with now it has a little bit more focused on the actual Rokket engine more and getting into Boral Load, Boral Sword, and the other Link monsters that really make this deck really good. So, without further ado guys, let's go straight on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on the channel, become a part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Rokket Tracer Dragon, which is one of the best cards in the entire deck. It is a level 4 tuner monster with the effect that once per turn you can target a card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon a Rokket monster from your deck except a Rokket Tracer Dragon. But you can't special summon monster for your extra deck except for dark monsters for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal because the majority of the stuff that we are playing in the extra deck is dark except for Hieratic Spheres, or Heavenly Spheres. Then we play 3 copies of Magna Rokket Dragon. Magna Rokket Dragon is one of the original Rokket monsters that we had when they first came out, but its effect is that when a Link monster's effect activates that targets this card on the field, you can destroy this card, then send a card on the field to the graveyard, but it doesn't target, which is extremely powerful for this card. And then during the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard, if this card was destroyed while on the field by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Rokket monster from your deck. A lot of the Rokket monsters share that ability that you can special summon Rockets from the deck if they're destroyed by card effects or by battle. Then we play 2 copies of Silver Rokket Dragon. I still think that 2 copies is the optimal number. When a Link monster as effect is activated that targets this card, you can destroy it, then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from it. So it can be really pivotal to hit an entire card that can be, really pivotal to your opponent by just using Silver Rokket and popping it directly out of their deck. So I really love this card as a 2-of. It also has the ability that shares the ability that you can special summon one if it's destroyed by battle or by card effect. We play 2 copies of Auto Rokket. If it's targeted, then you destroy it and send a spell or trap card on the field to the graveyard, which is pretty good. I play a single copy of Metal Rokket Dragon. I actually don't play Shell Rokket Dragon. I don't think it's that great. So I just play the 1 copy of Metal Rokket. Metal Rokket lets you basically destroy everything in the column that it's in. Which is really cool. Destroy all cards in your opponent's column. So basically it just shoots straight up and hits all the cards that are on your opponent's card. So if you put this under a Link monster and then a monster and another card on the field, you can just destroy all 3, which is pretty cool. 2 copies of Rokket Synchron. I actually really love Rokket Synchron as a 2-of in this deck, because when you normal summon it, you can special summon a level 5 or higher dragon monster that's in your graveyard, which is an awesome effect, but you negate the effects. Which is not that big of a deal because we play Router Dragon, which Router Dragon is a awesome card. If you control a Rokket monster, you can just instantly special summon this card. The only thing that you have to keep about Rokket Synchron is that if you summon it, it has to be normal summon. You can't just special summon it and get the ability, which kind of sucks, but you have to keep that in mind about this card. Router is a really good card because if you control a Rokket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can only special summon it once per turn this way. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. I still think this card is a great 3-of. I see some people playing it at 1, 2. No, this card's a 3-of. I play 2 copies of Gateway Dragon, because if your opponent controls a Link monster, which usually they're going to, you can instantly special summon this card from your hand, which is really good. And then it also has the ability that if it's summoned once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 or lower dragon type monster from your hand, which is awesome. I really love that ability. And then I play 2 copies of Go Figure, Dark Armed Dragon. Dark Armed Dragon went to 2 recently. I highly see it going to 3 soon, and I will be building decks based around Dark Armed Dragon very soon when it goes to 3. But Dark Armed Dragon's a really good card in this deck because you can control the amount of dark monsters you have in your graveyard pretty easily, and it makes it a lot easier by having it as a 2-of to draw it right off the bat and just drop it mid-combo on your first turn, which usually you're going to establish your board first turn anyways, and after that it's not going to matter. But Dark Armed Dragon's a really good addition to the deck because you just drop it, like I said, mid-combo, and then you have this big 2800 beat stick that can destroy cards on the field that makes it an awesome card for the deck, and it synergizes with the Rokket monsters to be able to pop them to get their effects off. Then we play a single copy of Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon, which still works with our Guard Dragon LP and Pisty. So this card's a really good one of in the deck. And then 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom is an awesome card in here because you need to have those hand traps to be able to stop your opponent from doing all sorts of different shenanigans. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we are going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave, just to stop our opponent from hand trapping us. We do not want to get hand trapped in this deck, so this card's a really good card to play as a 3 of. 3 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon. This card's a good card in any dragon deck, pretty much. Basically, it's Monster Reborn, and it lets you move a Link monster, or Monster Reborn for level 4 lower dragon monsters, and then it can let you target a dragon Link monster and then move it to another zone, which is an awesome ability to get your dragon Link monsters to other zone. Like, if you have your copy of Hermetic Spheres or Booster Dragon up here, and you Link Summon down here, you might need to move your copy of LP or Pisty over so it actually points to a zone in crunch situations. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's a really good card in here because it lets you bring back any monster, so it's just a really good card. 2 copies of Boot Sector Launch. I'm thinking about dropping it down to 1 now that Striker Dragon's out. And so I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I want to yet, but it is an option to drop it down to 1. But it's a really good card because all monsters, all rocket monsters gain 3 under attack. And also you could special summon up to 2 rocket monsters in defense position from your hand once per turn. And then if your opponent controls more monsters than you can special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard and defense position up to the difference. So if your opponent controls like 4 monsters and you have 4 rockets in your graveyard, you can just instantly special summon 4 back from the grave, which is ridiculous. I play 2 copies of Dragon's Mirror. I play the Dragon's Mirrors to go into the Borreload Furious Dragon. It's a really good card, and it's a really good one of in the extra deck, but this at 2, so you just see it. And then 2 copies of Twin Twister. Twin Twister is another really good card in here because you just don't want to deal with back row in this deck. And 3 copies of Quick Launch. Quick Launch is a good card. It's one of the best cards in the entire game, in my opinion, because it doesn't restrict you. You just instantly special summon a rocket monster from the deck, but it can attack and then also destroy during the end phase. But it's simple. You just special summon a rocket monster in your deck and use it as link material. You're never going to attack with your rocket monsters, really. You're going to link them away for Boral loads or, Boral swords or Boral link monsters to get up higher into your link climbing so you can go into your big boss monsters. Basically, this is a good stepping stone card. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Borreload. Borreload's a card that you almost want to play 1 or 2 of in this deck because it's such a good card. Basically lets you take your opponent's monsters. You guys know what Borreload pretty much does, but it has the ability that you can target one face-up monster on the field and loses 500 attack. If you're not familiar with rocket monsters, you can use that ability to target your rocket monsters to destroy them to get their abilities to go off during the end phase. 1 copy of Boral Sword. It lets you change your opponent's change monsters on the field to defense position. It doesn't just let you change your monster or your opponent's monsters. It actually lets you change yours, which is really important to rocket monsters because you can change them to defense. This targets them and then it goes off. 1 copy of Boral Guard. I wanted to play all 3 of them because I thought that would be kind of cool. And this card actually does come in clutch sometimes to have it. It can't be destroyed by card effects. And then once per turn, you can send a card from your opponent's one of your spell and trap cards to the graveyard and special summon from either player's graveyard 1 monster that was destroyed and sent to the graveyard this turn, but its effects are negated. And then once per turn, quick effect, you can target a monster on the field, change it to face-up defense position. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. This card is really good for, games where you just need to target something on the field or bring back something from the graveyard, and you don't want something to be destroyed by card effects, so this card can be really clutch. I actually had a live duel where I made this, and it actually won me the game. So I really recommend you playing the Boral Guard Dragon. It's just a utility. The extra deck is kind of like a toolbox. Triple Burst Blast Dragon, it's just a generic card that you want to play in here to link climb up. It's a good link 3. Quad Boral Dragon. Quad Boral Dragon is a really good card in here too. Basically, you discard a card, then target a face-up card on the field, and you can have special monsters that are linked to or lower for the rest of the turn from your extra deck. Also, destroy the target monster. Then if it was a link monster, you can special summon monsters up to the number of link arrows it had. And you can special summon rocket monsters for your hand or grave up to the number of link rating it had. which is really good to be able to target something on the field and then bring back rockets that you need. Booster Dragon is just here pretty much for the arrows. I played one copy of this because it's a card that I've been playtesting out since, you know, the copy of Agarpain got banned, so I'm playing it as a one-of. Heavenly Spheres is really good in the deck because of the Link Arrows and its ability to just spin something. I play a Guard Dragon LP and a Guard Dragon Pisty, basically for the Guard Dragon combo, where you just put these on the field and just go from there. Really good 2-of in the deck, or really good 1-of in the deck each. I probably would never play any more than 1-of. One copy of Striker Dragon, which is the new card, which you guys may or may not be familiar with, but basically when it's Link Summon, you get to add Boot Sector Launch directly from your deck to your hand, and then you can target a face-up monster you control in one face-up monster you control and a Rokket monster in your grave. Destroy the monster on the field, and then if you do, you get to add the Rokket monster in your graveyard back to your hand. So you can kind of refresh your hand by adding stuff like Rokket Synchron to your hand by destroying something like Absorouter, and then Absorouter's triggers in the graveyard to be able to add your Rokket to your hand. Then you normal summon the Rokket Synchron, and then Synchro off to summon like Borreload Savage Dragon if you want to. I'd still play the one copy of Borreload Excharge Dragon. Is it good? No. Is it, you know, great? No. Do I make it sometimes to win games? Yes. Neither play can target this XYZ7 card with monster effects, which is really good. If your opponent's playing a deck that really, you know, targets, this is not a bad card to play. You can detach Mischievous on this card to target a face-up monster on the field that loses 600 attack. So basically it comes out at 3,600. And then you can special summon a Boral monster from your graveyard, but banish it during the end phase. But you can use it as link material, so this card's pretty good to use for link material, to summon stuff to use for link material. Borreload Savage Dragon, this card's really good for no reason. You basically just equip a link monster to it, and then use it gets tokens on it, or like counters on it, equal to the link rating, and then negate a card once per turn by removing a counter from it. And then it gains half the attack of the monster that's equipped to it. I play a single copy of Beals because it's an option in the deck, and then a single copy of Borreload Furious Dragon. I make this not as much as I used to, but it's still a good option if you can make it. But basically, you can target a monster you control in one card all your opponent controls and destroy them, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a Dark Link monster in your grave and special summon it. So it's a good late game card, so I play it as a one-of. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a really fun deck to play around with. All you really need is 3 copies of the structure deck and then some Guard Dragons and stuff, and you can really play this deck. And it's not as expensive as it used to be because of the reprint of Boral Sword Dragon. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this video down in the comments down below. Definitely hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.